So, very good morning, welcome back to another video. Now, last night it was a bit warm in bed, couldn't really sleep, didn't really plan on coming out this morning, but I've been up since 3, so here we are at the coast. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to come back to the first place I ever recorded a YouTube video. Now, that video has long gone, that video has since been deleted, but the photo still exists. So here is the first photograph I ever put on YouTube. So what I've done, come back to the same place, and we're going to try and take some similar photos today. Not much cloud in the sky, there's a little bit of colour in the background over there, but not an awful lot. But I just thought it'd be fun to come out and recreate that first video. So let's get stuck in, take some photos of the rock walls on Mappleton Beach. Alright, so what I've been trying to do is get my exposure down to around about a second and a half, just so I can create some streaks in the surf as the waves are retreating. So I've stuck a reverse graduated filter on. It's a 3-stop reverse grad. So the brightest part of the sky is just on the horizon where the sun is. So there's no point putting a full grad on because you're essentially just going to be darking nothing in the sky. So just put the grad on, just get that band of where the colour in the sky is all nice and bright where the sun is, and start playing from there. So we're at f11 and I'm using the low ISO of ISO 50. I may bump that up to ISO 100 shortly because the light's only going to start getting stronger and stronger from here. So let's get stuck in and let's start taking the first photograph. Alright, so what I've been doing is I've sort of been chasing the tide out a little bit because you sort of forget how fast the tide moves sometimes. So I've just been chasing the tide out and I've been using the 2-second timer, and I've just been sort of waiting for a wave to come in, and then just as it starts to go out I've been pressing the shutter and taking the photograph. So I'm going to show you the first photo and then we may scramble on top of the rock wall to see what we can get from up there. So here's the first one, and let's maybe see if we can get up there and get something sort of pointing down towards everything. So like I said at the start of the video, this was the first place I ever came and made a YouTube video, and that day I was using a GoPro Hero 7 White, not even the expensive one, the cheap one, on a selfie stick, without any kind of microphone or wind buffalo or anything like that. It was awful. The LUT I used on the video was extremely contrasty, it was extremely dark and all underexposed, but you know, you start playing with Premiere Pro and things like that and it all starts to look a bit fun, doesn't it? So yeah, that was the last time I was actually here, and that was about 2 years ago. So it's nice to come back. It's not changed an awful lot in 2 years, but yeah, it's nice to come back. So a little bit of a trip down memory lane, a bit of reminiscing this morning. So I had to think about scrambling up this slot, and I think with 2 cameras that might be a bit of a no-no. So I think what we're going to do, wait for the sun to pop up, and as we're getting that sort of sun from 90 degrees onwards, we're going to start shooting down the beach and see what we can do there. Because yeah, it might be a bad idea scrambling up on that lot. So I'm going to camp here and just shoot behind you, get some nice photos of the coast, I think. Alright, so there's a bit of a scramble getting up here. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I decided to do it anyway, so I've left that camera down there and I've come up here. 10-stop filter on, f8, ISO 100, 30-second exposure, just using this rock wall. There's a big leading line through the middle in kind of a triangle. I'm overexposing this by around a stop, just to allow me to get some detail in the rocks down the foreground. Problem I've got, the tide is further in on the right hand side than the left hand side, and I can also see there's actually the beach towards the left hand side of this is actually a lot higher than it is on the right hand side. It's really weird. Yeah, there's the photograph up, I'll show it to you, and I'm going to come back down and hopefully not break a leg. Alright, so you may be able to see by how warm this side of my face is. The sun's just broken the horizon and the very very low bank of cloud that there was. It's going to be another really hot day today. It's going to be nice clear skies and really, really warm. So, yay. I'm more of an autumn baby, if I'm being honest with you. I think my plan now is I'm just going to put a long lens on and shoot towards the cliffs down there. Because the sun's kind of coming in at a off angle to everything, you're going to get all the haze and the spray and everything, and it might look quite dramatic. So I might stick the 70 to 200 on and go long for this one. I'm just really punching on the clouds and see what we can do with that. So I might stay here, I might walk a bit further down, I don't know. I don't think I can actually get out of here, come to think of it, because the tide seems to be still washing around the edge of this, so it's another scramble job. So I think I'm just going to camp around here, because yeah, I'm tired, I don't want to fall and injure myself. Or wear break a camera, because cameras are expensive. I can sort of get repaired for free on the NHS, can't I? Talking shit now, aren't I? Yeah, let's stick a long lens on and see what we can do with them cliffs over there. Alright, so I've had a bit of a plan. See, I'm focused right on the cliff edge, right down the end of this beach, and the way the waves are coming in, they kind of ended up leading a bit of a line into the cliff. So I'm thinking a nice fast shutter speed here and see if I can just freeze a wave as it's breaking. Just get that, it's a big line right down the frame, right to the end of that cliffs. As I say, in the distance, the tide is obviously still hitting the cliffs over there, and it's kind of kicking up some spray and some haze and everything. I quite like that. So yeah, I'm just going to see if I can. I might just have to ride the shutter here a little bit and just hope for the best, but let's see if we can't get that done. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm just riding the shutter as waves sort of appear in the spot. I want them in the frame, and I think this might work out alright because the sun's quite low, and as the waves are breaking, they're catching the nice orange light quite nicely on the top of them. It's quite fun. So yeah, it's just going to be a case of riding the shutter and just catching the wave in the right spot, so to speak. I'm about 100th of a second FA, ISO 100 still, and it really is, it's just a case of firing off till the wave appears where I want it to be. So here's the best one. Alright, so I think that's going to be what all she wrote this morning. The light's too strong now for long exposures, and other than the cliffs, there's not really a right lot else of interest around here, so I think that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a thumbs up, because it does help the video out and it brings new viewers to my channel. There's a subscribe button below me. You can always press that if you want to see more nonsense from me in the future. So I'm going to go home and go back to bed, because it is now 5:10. It is way too early for a Sunday morning, that, isn't it? So I'm going to leave you and say peace and goodbye.